Hey Sycamore Tree! Today we begin our third lesson on creativity. And creativity is imagining what you can do because you are made in the image of God. God made each of us unique and we're all gifted at different things. You saw that in the pictures from last week's video of arts and crafts, building things, and cooking, just to name a few. But God has created all of us for a specific purpose. It's true that we can trust God no matter what, but that can be tricky because we don't always know what God's plan for our lives is. Esther's story is a great example of how God can work through us in unexpected ways. We can read Esther's story in the Bible in the book of, any guesses? Yes, Esther. Esther was the queen of Persia, but she didn't become queen in a usual way. Her father wasn't a king and she wasn't from an important family. In fact, Esther was Jewish. Many of God's people were captured and brought to Babylon when their home was conquered. So Esther grew up in a land that wasn't her own. When Esther's parents died, her cousin Mordecai raised her as his own daughter. Here's a look at her story. At the time our story takes place, a man named Xerxes was king of Persia and was married to Queen Vashti. He wanted her to come to his party so his friends could see her beauty. "Hey, Queen Vashti, why don't you come to my party?" "No way, I'm not going to your party." "Well, then you're going to be banished and I'm going to find a new queen." Xerxes ordered his officials to banish Queen Vashti and to bring the most beautiful women to the empire. They brought them to him one at a time. But as soon as the king saw Esther, he knew he wanted her to be the queen and take Vashti's place. King Xerxes also chose a royal official named Haman. Haman was to be higher than any other noble. Because of his position, the others were supposed to bow to him. There was one guy who refused to bow, and that was Mordecai. Mordecai was Esther's uncle. He knew he should only bow to God and not to any other person. When Haman heard about this, he was mad. He found out that Mordecai was Jewish and made a plan to destroy not only him, but all the Jews. He told King Xerxes that the Jews didn't obey his laws, so that he should put a law into place to destroy all the Jews. King Xerxes agreed and sent out the order for all the Jewish people to be killed. Mordecai and the Jewish people were terrified. Queen Esther heard he was upset and sent a messenger to find out why. The messenger returned and explained to Esther what Haman had done. All the Jewish people were soon to be killed. Mordecai wanted Esther to do something about it. He asked her to go to the king and beg him to save their people. Esther was hesitant because if the king didn't want to see her, she could be killed. Mordecai said, "What if you don't say anything? Who knows? It's possible that you became queen for such a time as this." She knew he was right. She told him she would go to the king. Esther sent Mordecai one last message. She told him before she went to see the king, she wanted Mordecai to gather the Jews and pray and fast for 3 days. On the 3rd day, she went to go see the king. She was very nervous, but when she entered, King Xerxes held out his golden scepter, which meant she could come closer. Xerxes said to Esther, "I will give you anything. Just tell me your request." Esther said, "My request is simple. Just come to a feast with Haman." King Xerxes and Haman came to Esther's feast. Esther didn't tell the king at first what she wanted. She wanted him to be curious, so she invited the men back for another feast. The next day they came back once again, and King Xerxes asked Esther why she had gone to all this trouble. She finally told him that she was Jewish and there was an evil plot to kill her people. The king demanded to know, "Who would do such a thing?" Esther said, "It was Haman." The king was furious. That very night, Haman was killed, and King Xerxes created a new law that saved the Jews because of Esther. Wasn't that fun? Esther wasn't the most likely choice to become Queen of Persia, but God had a very important purpose for her. And when the time was right, she used the position that she had as queen to save her people. God has a purpose for each one of us too. You might not always be able to see exactly what it is, but pay attention to the gifts God has given you. Think about the ways that He's made you unique. Think about things that excite you. Or think about things that make you sad, the things that you might want to try to fix. Maybe you have the skills and ideas to help solve the problem, or maybe there's someone who needs the kind of help only you can offer. There's a reason why He's put you with the people you see every day, and there's a reason why God has given you the gifts, talents, and opportunities, and of course your creativity, so you can make a difference. Remember, Sycamore Tree, God created you for a purpose, and you can make a difference.